Stage 1, The Yearning. Edinburgh was everything she had imagined and more. Ginger was the happiest grown woman in the world. Her mind, body, and soul were alive and thriving. As she travelled to castles in Scotland, she remembered her fairy tales. It had taken her a long time, but she was truly happy. On low days, though, she would cry along with the rain as she watched it through her window. Ginger was a special girl. She was an empath and suffered from borderline personality disorder, which amplified her emotions. Ginger felt too much. Every thought about her life would leave her crying for days, with her eyes too swollen to open fully. She would go from the sofa to the bathroom, then to the kitchen to eat, and back to the sofa again. The television would watch her, or India Jean Jock song Black Bird would flood the speakers, and that was her routine. The low days got to her, and within 2 months, Princess Ginger lost her spark. On a cold Sunday morning, Ginger had no tears left. She had no reason to cry. With that realization, she regained her happiness. And on that day, the world smiled with her. It had been a while. That was the beginning for her, a rebirth. She left the past behind. After all, she was no longer Sapphire. She was no longer obligated to the memories of the hurt she endured in her lifetime. Sapphire's time had passed, and now Ginger was here, a Jamaican who grew up in London, and after her husband died of cancer, she moved to Edinburgh. That would have been her story if anyone asked. Luckily, she had enough money to sustain her. Chemist did not cancel the standing order he had set up on his account for her. Maybe guilt? Even though grateful, Ginger knew she eventually wanted to get a job in the countryside of Scotland and live a simple life. As long as she had access to cannabis, she was good, and she made sure of it. Many months had passed, and Ginger was now settled in a quaint village in Scotland's countryside. Each morning, she would wake up to her alarm, make her tea or coffee depending on her mood, roll a joint, and then head to her balcony for her wake and bake session. She worked at the local gallery, a pleasant 30-minute walk from home. After work, she enjoyed trying different meals from the surrounding restaurants. The people in the area were friendly, and she appreciated the lack of unnecessary questions. On the weekends, she engaged in various activities but had developed a newfound love for mountain biking. Ginger made her life comfortable. The child in her became her best friend, and for the first time in history, Squidward felt happiness around SpongeBob. Both were happy on her shoulders. They also took a strong liking to her shows in the mirror every evening after her showers. Ginger would play Eeny Meeny Miny Mo with her toys, and the winner was the lucky fella. She would spread eagle in front of her mirror and pleasured herself. Flashes of Chemist would flood her mind, and then there were glimpses of Kion swallowing him. She would talk dirty as if she was still in that G-Wagon. "You're doing good, Kion. Suck him. Suck him like how you would want him to suck you." SpongeBob and Squidward looked at each other in amazement. She moaned the most graphic but seductive porn-worthy moan. A Grammy would have sufficed. And just like that, the movement of the wand on her privates intensified, and she pulled for her crystal dildo and fucked herself simultaneously until her reward sprayed onto the mirror again. After she caught her breath and cleaned up, her soul felt weary, for Princess Ginger preferred a real penis. She loved solid dick. She grew tired of her toys. She craved affection. She craved sharing her life with someone. She craved the feel of warm, hard flesh spreading the width of her tightest hole. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark the narrator again. I want to take a moment to big up the real kings. Mad love. Proper respect. Toys are not our enemies, they are our friends. For the ones who are not with it yet, grow out of your ego and go please your woman. Now, back to Ginger. Her thoughts drove her to take a walk to clear her mind. On her journey, she stumbled upon a majestic willow tree. She stood in awe of the beauty of the limbs as they swayed gently with the wind. She went under the tree and lay at its roots, staring at the stars as they played hide and seek with the willow's branches. For a moment, she felt safe enough to talk to God for the first time in a long time. "Hi, I hope you are there." "Well, I know you are because you are within me, but I am sorry I have been absent. I am here now though. I could not understand why you would make us so cruel towards each other when we all transitioned in the end. What is the point? But for good to exist, bad has to be present too, right? Well, I hope this is my good now. I think I deserve it, and I am trying to do good too. Thank you for all you continue to do for us in your universe. Lead me to where you need me to be. Amen. At least once a week, Ginger would visit this location and talk to God under the willow tree.